Okay, well, you've guessed it. Yes, well, you've seen the thumbnail. I gotta do a video on old Queenie here. She's croaked it. Um, the old girl had a good innings, but you know, she's been probably retired to the island now with the rest of them. I don't know what to say about this. This whole idea, this whole character is wrong on so many levels. Um, whether or not it's a difficult one to kind of get to the bottom of, because are these people so far in the delusion as well that they think what they're doing is right? Are they so far in the delusion that even though they maybe believe in natural law, they've kind of manipulated what they do in the world, at least at their conscious level? They consciously think that they're following natural law and not violating sort of the natural rights of people. I don't know how they sleep at night. I mean, this is the only way I can think they sleep at night. That somehow they have orchestrated it in their own head that they are still following along some kind of divine path, which is far from the truth. At least on the surface with this character, yeah. You know, a world. I mean, I call it a world leader, and a leader of people, supposedly, that is not willing to, you know, a true leader, a true believer in natural law will look at every man out there and say we're all equals, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over to this guy that's at the bottom of the heap, and I'm going to help him up. You know what this thing represents? This thing represents the top of the damn pyramid. That's what this thing represents. You know, and what is the crazy thing about it is that a lot of people that are common folk believe in this thing. They've got this little con job working real good. I mean, really good. I would say that the vast majority of people um, within my English side of the family, but have faith in this nonsense to a certain degree. I don't so much anymore. Defender of their own little world is what they are, and it's such a shame because it's the people that really give them power are really the commoners, and it's such a shame to see people that deluded. Really. Anyway, I'm waffling already. What are we even going to talk about with this death thing here? What's going on with old, you know, Lizzie here? Elizabeth II, yeah. Note the Twin Towers, yeah. Note the date of birth. I'm pretty sure the vast majority of truthers out there that probably may be watching this, everybody surely knows this. This is the 21st of April, is the twin date in the calendar year. 111 days gone, 254 days to go. 9/11 is the twin date of this date. 254 days gone, 111 days left to go in the year. Okay, this thing here represents the control system. This thing represents the matrix. Yeah, this is why we've got the queen, rather than the king. The guy that's getting king, that is becoming king now, Charles. He's the guy that's had to wait a very, very long time. I wonder if he's 73. Did I hear that? Was it 73 this year? Let's have a quick. Um, let's just have a quick look at old Charlie boy. What the hell? Come on. Born 14th of November. Oh, unbelievable. A 1114. That'll actually connect in. I'm kind of doing this on the fly. That'll connect into something here in a minute as well, so bear that in mind. 73. There we go. The L. We're going to talk about the L in a minute. Okay. Let's go back. So we got old. But he's the guy. He's been waiting his whole life. He's been under this thing. He's been under this thing his whole life. So the metaphors are playing out, with the royal family as well. Okay. He's the. I don't know what, she just don't want to step aside for him, and it's took her death, supposedly, whether or not she's really dead, who knows. Are they playing out the metaphor? Is she really dead? Is she not dead? I don't know, but she's the gal that doesn't want to step aside, and as I was just saying, this thing is wrong on so many levels. This thing is the control matrix. This is what this is supposed to represent. This thing is not supposed to be fair, right? Now, what's interesting about the death date, this 8th of September, is we're coming up to another date, aren't we? The one I've just mentioned, 9/11. Okay, and what is interesting about the 8th of September? Let's go to the 8th of September here and have a look real quick. Here's the 8th. Oh, look. Here he is again. Here's the CRM 114 right here on the 8th when the Queen dies, okay? And then we've got this 4 days inclusive Lazarus rebirth, okay? The death of the Queen. 1, 2, 3, 4, including the 8th, sorry. 1 on the 8th, 2, 3, 4, okay? 4 days inclusive, okay? Rebirth ritual on the 11th of September again, okay? Now I've gone through the 11th of September. It's the death of, the ritual death of God, the L even leaving us, starting out on that voyage. But of course, that voyage has to come to an end, the end of the Odyssey. And what has to happen at the end of the Odyssey? The Matrix has to die. Okay, and I think Lazarus is a direct sort of reference, even though Jesus is as well, but Lazarus is more of a reference to the death of the Matrix. Okay, that's Jesus's friend. Okay, and that's, again, the system, the Matrix, is supposed to be our friend. Okay, and that thing has to die and be reborn as well. So I don't quite know when they're actually going to have the coronation. I haven't even looked at any of this stuff. The official coronation. And I don't even know, is he king right now? I assume that as soon as she croaked it, he became king, and they'll have an official ceremony they'll have an official coronation. When, I don't know, but it would. Well, I mean, of course, it's not really going to work to do. I mean, will it work to do it on 9/11? I don't know, but I'm assuming they'll have it quicker than that. But anyway, maybe they'll have it on Saturday the 10th. I really don't know. I really should have probably tried to watch something about it and seen. If anybody knows in the comments, that would be a good place to put that. Anyway, the 10th would make sense. It's a Saturday, and that would join the 8th, the death, to a 3-day rebirth ritual, and the 10th would be joining the 8 and the 10 together again, which we're going to see a little bit of here in a minute. But of course, October and the 10th month and name for the 8th month, we're looking at some connections here with this 810, and the 810 is the 18 of man again. Yeah, the 18, man being reborn. So just some interesting stuff there to note. Where do I want to go from this though? Okay, so her death, maybe referring to this, the so-called, like again, the death of God on this day, and then the rebirth of God back here again on 9/11. But is anything going to happen on that day? Probably not, but this reference had to happen on that day to kind of make sense of this first initial, you know, the first initial loss of God on that day, and then the returning of God on that day. Okay, I hope that's making sense to people. Again, a lot of this stuff is information that we've built on over several videos now, over a number of years now. So, you know, I apologize if I sound completely crazy with what I'm saying if you're new, but rest assured, if you were to go back and watch some of the old videos, it would make a lot more sense. Anyway, stop waffling, because I want to link this to something else now. Okay, this is just something random that I come across the other day, and I'm like, you know what, I should do a video on this. A couple of little things. Where do I want to go? I want to link this to Michael Jackson now. Okay, how do you link this to Michael Jackson, Dan? Okay, I can't. I wish I could remember exactly why I was looking at this. I'm not really quite sure. But with all the Roe versus Wade stuff in the news on the, you know, on the topic of abortion, you know, it kind of got me thinking about this character here, Debbie Rowe. You know, the woman that bore Michael Jackson, the guy that could never grow up, who was always a kid again, suppressed, kind of like Prince Charles is suppressed. You know, he's not got the crown. Well, he's about to get the crown. Yeah, you know, he's about to be rebirthed as the king. The head's poking out of the hole. He's crowning, and he will be crowned the king. Okay. This is the metaphor for what we need to do ourselves in life. Okay. But this Debbie Rowe character, okay, with Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson again, the king of pop. Yeah, the king that popped out. Do you get it all? The king of pop. And the boy that never grew up, Never Neverland. Okay, so we got a kind of connection there with Charles and Michael Jackson. Okay, but this is the connection I really want to make, is this Debbie Rowe. Okay, because if we say Debbie Rowe, okay, you will know in my previous videos I've gone on about characters with the name Devereaux. Okay, I had Luke Devereaux in Universal Soldier. We had, I think it was Peter Devereaux in, that was Pierce Brosnan in The November Man, which is important because our two dates that we've been looking at for like the ritual finish of the cycle, the finish of Pi, one of those dates is actually Pi. It's actually a November day. It's the 10th of November. And the other date, which is more to do with the connections with Back to the Future, that date is the 11th of October. Okay, and those two dates are essentially the same day, the same numbers, just reversed. Okay, so we have 2 days there for this rebirth, the kind of completion day of Pi, right? Now, I've completely forgot what I was saying. So anyway, the idea is that, you know, when we marry into the system, we're on death row, okay? And that this connection with the name Devereaux to death row, okay? And now I'm looking at Debbie Rowe, okay? Deborah Rowe. Can you hear the connection there? Okay, I don't know if I'm making too much of it. Debbie Rowe, Devereaux, Death Row, you know, Death Row Records with Dr. Dre, yeah, Dr. E. Brown, okay, Dre Brown. Do you get these connections with Back to the Future, Dr. Dre, and then we get to Eminem and Snoop Dogg and 50 Cent, back to 213 with the Super Bowl stuff, 50 Cent being rebirthed. You know, I mean, we're just going around in circles with the symbolism. And again, with Debbie Rowe, get to the point, Dan. The point is, okay, here we go again, November the 14th, they get married. Okay, and the interesting thing is, somewhere in here it says that they actually didn't have sex to have these kids. Look, it said she was artificially inseminated, never had sex with Jackson. Okay, again, the Matrix is fictional. Okay, and fiction, yeah, the interaction there is not real. Okay, there's not a physical interaction, and again, Debbie Rowe doesn't have a physical interaction with Jackson. Interesting the way these these metaphors are carried out through the whole character. Again, here we go. The prince was born on February the 13th. There's our 213. That's important. That's that 213 that's in the dollar bill. Okay, we've got a 43 reference with Paris Jackson being born on April the 3rd. Okay, this is what's even more interesting is the divorce. The day when, again, he comes out of death row. Okay, he comes, the system, the Matrix dies. Okay, so what I'm saying is, just like the Queen died 4 days before 9/11, before the L returns. Okay, here we go again. Debbie Rowe dies 4 days before. Okay, so she divorces, or they get divorced on October the 8th, 108. Okay, or 88, depends the way you look at it. But this is 4 days inclusive before. Okay, let's go to it. Do I have to count it on for people? Here's October. Here's the 8th. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days on. Okay. Out of interest, 108 is 4 days after 9/11 here. Okay, a little connection back to 9/11 as well. Just the way the numbers work. That. I mean, I don't know what to say anymore. I thought that was a nice little connection back with Michael Jackson, and because Michael Jackson's had so much, and there's been so much, like with the mask wearing and all the the fakery with him, and how he was, that boy was taken by the system, and this is what a lot of actors and musicians, they get ruined by the system. They get ate up, chewed up and spit out by the system, and that's the point of that metaphor there. Whether it really happens like that, I don't know. Madonna's playing that role right now with the way she looks. She looks terrible. I mean, she looks like an old hag, but she's playing the role. And I believe in one of my old videos I said, expect to see. I think it was it may have been the 18th of July video. I'm not sure which one it was. I'm sure I've mentioned, expect to see like a precursor kind of news story. Maybe the Queen falls over and hurts herself or something. Maybe the Queen croaks it. Maybe Madonna has some kind of event like that as well. Maybe Madonna croaks it, or maybe Madonna, has some kind of accident. But that's the kind of news story you expect to see prior to the event, prior to the rebirth. Something that symbolizes the death of that thing. I don't know. Anyway, I'm pretty sure though I've mentioned that idea before, and I think I've mentioned the Queen and Madonna. Those are the two main characters that you would pick out. And of course, there's lots of other people with, there's lots of other female characters out there that can fulfill that role. Again, one of those female characters was Anne Heche, but of course, who would have thought that? Anyway, what else do I want to cover in this video? I want to do one last little tidbit. I'm trying to think. Was there any more important things? I think I put her full name in the Gematria 163, and of course that 163 is a reference to the 1118. Yeah, let's look at the 1118 real quick in the chart of Lorraine. It's the center balance point. Yes, Dan, we've heard you say this before. It's a center balance point. Wow. Okay, this is, God and man stand, back together. Okay, 118 is the Christ, blooming speak. 118 is the abbreviation of 1118. Okay, so we got that going on. What else did I want to cover in this? There was something else I wanted to cover. Let me just hang on a minute. Did we want to put a? Oh, yeah, and that 1118, the 163 is the ratio you get. Okay, in our table, yeah, because you take the 18 and you divide it by the 11, the preceding number, and that gives you the golden ratio, an approximate value of the golden ratio. And this 1.63 is what we're looking at, okay, with her name. Okay, so we have that reference back in there. All right, and that's the thing that gets corrupted. Yeah, the balance point, the ratio, the golden ratio gets corrupted. Okay, with the death row. Okay, now what else was there in here? There was a couple of other things that I want to cover to do with November the 11th, November the 10th, sorry, and October the 11th. Okay, I'm going to actually go back to some previous stuff now, and I want to lump it in this video because I just don't have time to make 50 million videos right now, even though I've got enough subject matter to probably do that. Before we go anywhere, I haven't done this yet. Let's just stick her, and there we go. We've done the abbreviated, the common name, and we got the 88. So I mean, we got the twins there. Let me go to something and explain something about iPet Goat now. Okay, remember that thing, iPet Goat? I discussed this probably a year ago now. I don't know when it was, but I discussed this ritual thing with the Egypt ritual of the this iPet or Opet feast. Okay, so we have the iPet Goat thing going on, right? And what's interesting about this is that this is again, this whole ritual, if I can recall correctly, is to do with the king being rejuvenated, basically, and doing a little sailing trip up the Nile and back again, and doing a little bit of fornication and that kind of stuff, to kind of mark the renewal of life, or the renewal of his the king's the pharaoh's throne, if you like. I don't know. I can't really remember. You can go look it up for yourself. But the point I want to make with this is this festival takes place, okay, and again we've got Luxor mentioned, and the Nile, of course. We've got a red reference with that as well. But this takes place in, I want you to look at this, the second month of Akhet. Okay, I think I'm saying that right. So this festival, the iPet festival, takes place in the second month of Akhet. Okay, but there's a connection here, and okay, Opet began on the Akhet 2. Okay, the Twin Towers again. Akhet 2, 15. Okay, and then it changes with different. I think it changes with some of these different kings, but there is a month. Okay, this Akhet 2 has a name. Okay, Paopi, I think is what it is, but more importantly, could also be called Barbar. Okay, so we've got some little references with the baby, with the goat, with the sheep, with the bar, with the what other references we got here? We got a nice Who reference as well. Okay, with old what's that song? Oh, Barbara O'Reilly. But what is interesting is this month, okay, Paopi. Okay, it's the second month of the ancient Egyptian and Coptic calendars. It lasts between, right, get this, the 11th of October and the 9th of November. This month here, that is named, and it will say, it says it in it, I'm sure it says it in here somewhere. Okay, then, okay, I should backtrack very briefly. Paopi means that of Opet, or of Ipet, yeah? Okay, so this month is named for that festival, okay? This month lasts from the 11th of October to the 9th of November. The 11th of October, the date we're looking at for maybe the return, and then 9th of November, 911. Okay? I don't know what more I can say about it. To me, I mean, among other references, there's always multiple references. This is one of the, to me, maybe one of the main references of Ipet Goat. You know, what is the Baba, the goat? Ipet Goat. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. Okay, so I wanted to lump that in with this video, and there's one more little thing that I want to lump in with the video, and I can't remember. Just backtracking with the um, with this Michael Jackson thing. I thought there was something else I wanted to mention about. Oh, well, I think I mentioned that. Married the 14th. Okay. Okay. Remember, married the 14th of November. Yeah. Okay. So we have that CRM. Yeah. 114. Yeah. Charles Reign Monarch. 114. I don't know. Charles regains monarchy. I don't know. This stuff is just. I don't know what you know. Anyway, and also we got the 111 reference here again. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, one more thing to put in with the. So we've done the Egyptian calendar. We've done this nonsense, and there was one more little thing that just slipped into my awareness. Fairground ride. Okay. I can't remember. I think this was. I can't remember the guy's name now. I think somebody mentioned it, and I thought, well, I'll go look at it. And the metaphor here, it's pretty upsetting what happens here. If this thing basically falls, and it's supposedly 50 foot and injures more than 50 people. So we have this 50-50, this 50 reference again with the 50 of the bullseye. Yeah, the 50 of the golden anniversary. And what is happening here, let's play 1 second of this. Okay, that thing is dropping, yeah. The needle is going through the bullseye right here. It's a pretty, I don't know whether anybody got killed on this, but I sure as hell wouldn't want to be up the top of there and drop 50 foot down on my ass. That is going to be severely painful. So, of course, prayers go out to the people on this ride. But the point is, there's a metaphor here. And again, it's the arrow shooting through the eye of a needle. You know what this reminds me of? The kind of thing that, I think I've said this in a previous video, the kind of thing I would expect to see happen at the Space Needle. the outer ring full down through the center column. Okay, that's the kind of ritual, if anything, you'd see at the Space Needle. This, I'm not sure if this is a precursor warning event or, you know, or what. Not sure. But anyway, I thought I'd lump that in there. This happened on the 4th. This is the 4th of, even though it says the 5th here, I'm pretty sure down in here it says the 4th. Yeah, the incident happened on the 4th of September, Punjab. So, the 4th of September, let's just look at it real quick. Let's see if we've got any kind of... Oh dear. Here we go, the 4th of September. And if no surprises there, it's a 118. Okay, we got the 118 reference with days left in the year. 118 days left in the year, 4th of September. So again, you know, I don't know what to say, because I keep seeing bits and bobs of references, and it's like, is it really worth doing a video on it? I'm not sure. Dedicating a whole video to it, but it is interesting, the stuff that's coming. It's coming pretty thick and fast at the minute, so I don't know. With that being said, I'm going to end the video because I'm really waffling now, and I apologise. It's been a little while since I've done a video. That I've still got some interesting stuff to get through, and there is actually one more thing with this video, and I'll lump it in here now. It's kind of a day jump thing. Oh, I don't want that. I clicked on that. It's kind of a day jump thing. Actually, where we want to go is we want to go to the chart of Lorraine first. Okay, and I want to show you something in the chart of Lorraine. Okay, if you seen my videos before, I've mentioned this L that appears right here. Okay, so this is the bottom of the L. Okay, it starts 713, and the reason why I picked this out as an L is because this coming down here, this column coming down, if you can see my cursor, it starts 713 as well. And I made the comment in the video I was talking about this, is that this is the lie, yeah, because 713 is an L, an I, and an E. Okay, it's the lie. It's the backwards L. Okay. What's fascinating about this is we have what I was thinking about. It was because of Charlie Boy's age there, 73. Yeah, God coming back in charge at the age of 73. You know, 73 is L, is God coming back in charge of the crown. Okay, so that's the metaphor. I don't think those people are good people, but that's the metaphor that's being said there. Okay, so but this L here that's within this big backwards L, okay, so we have a reference for the L coming back, okay, and the L leaving. And so the reference is, if we go from L, so if we want to find out where the backwards L is, we take the backwards L here, which is 713, the 13th of July, and we go this 60 days right here from the 13th of July, which is this backwards L. It'll take us to the date when let's show you it. It'll take us to that date when God leaves, okay, or when we leave God, okay, which is July the 13th. We go 60 days, and that takes us to September the 11th. Okay, now go back to this chart down. This 9-7 here, yeah, we've seen that before. This 9-7 right here, here's the 9 and here's the 7. Hope you see my cursor, and it's part of that cross of the Great Scott, yeah, the cross of St. Andrew that's in here, yeah, going across this way and across this way, and opposite the 911 is the 187, yeah, okay, because when this thing is lost, you jump over to being dead, or you know, you jump over to death row, 187. Okay, but this is the 9-7 right here, you know, of the 9/11 7/11 event. So I thought that was interesting, because if you then go from 911, so this 97, which is, of course, 79 is gold, 97 is backwards gold, the opposite, if you like, the reversed, the non-correct version of it. So if you then go from 911 here, okay, and you go another 60 days, yeah, well, let's put it in, see where it goes to, so that you can believe me, maybe. Go from September the 11th, and I've actually already done this before. September the 11th, we go the 60 days again. The return date of God, maybe, again, is November the 10th. That day that is in the dollar bill, yeah? The finish date that I think is in the dollar bill. Okay, so how and what, whether or not Back to the Future is the date that something's going to happen, the 11th of October, or whether it will actually happen on the 10th of November, this big ritual thing that I think is going to happen with the Hoover Dam. Who knows? But it's just interesting the way these numbers are. I just keep seeing little bits and bobs, and I thought, well, I'll just share that with you. This backwards L that's right here, which contains the 37 of L, which happens to be the 73 years old that bloody Charlie boy's coming back in charge. This 60-day jump thing, yeah, from that L back to L. I don't know if you get that, but 9/11, and then from 9/11 back to L, which happens to be the 10th of November. Okay, I think that's the end of the video. I really don't know what else to say. Again, looking at the table, what's in between the 10 and the 11? This number, 55, 55. Yeah, 55 down here, yeah. And as Doc says, there's something significant about that point in time. There's something significant about that number. I'm going to leave it there, because otherwise I'll just keep waffling and rambling on. Nothing more to say. To be quite honest, I've got 3 or 4 more videos that I'd really like to get out before within the next week, so stay tuned. Hopefully I'll get them out for you. Yeah, and I'll catch you on the next one. Right, cheers, bye.